Good morning, everyone. We'll now begin the monthly memorial service. I'm Edna Masoka, and me and Reverend Wahiawa will be conducting today's service. Please join us.
Let us all bow our heads as we purify our mind, body, and spirit.
Mediation prayer, page 2 of your prayer books. Let us seek the sacred mediation of Konko Daijin sincerely and wholeheartedly each and every day. May we receive the mediation anew with all our hearts and souls on this day, this very moment. Konko Daijin Sama, Konko Daijin Sama. Konko Daijin Sama, Konko Daijin Sama. Verification prayer. Through the way of mediation, may our sincere apologies be acceptable to you, our divine parent. We acknowledge our mistakes and misunderstandings, arrogance and ignorance of your divine favor. We apologize for all our shortcomings and irreverences from past generations. Guide us to amend our way of living to reflect your divine will, with a pure, joyful, and loving heart, always one with you. Kami prayer. Reverently we pray, the brilliance of heaven and riches of earth, time flows without cease, years pass without end. In heaven and earth, the life that nurtures all. In heaven and earth, the truth that orders all. For this wondrous form, for these wondrous works, let us praise the chief Kami. Let us praise the divine parent of the universe. Kami loves and cares for all humanity, all those who live between heaven and earth. To revere Kami as the divine parent, To live in Kami's infinite blessings, this is the way. Yet many, not knowing the way, are lost in greed and selfishness. They suffer the cycle of misfortune, great is Kami's sorrow. Our founding father, Konko Daijin, suffered many trials in this world, but held fast to faith and sincerity. He received Kami's great blessing and began a life of mutual fulfillment of Kami and humanity. Humbly we pray. The divine parent's great wish was thus fulfilled. Konko Daijin accepted the call to mediation that leads to the mutual benefit of Kami and humanity. By then he taught the way of faith to all who sought him, expounding the blessings of heaven and earth. And he did not come by night. By night he prayed for those who grieve, seeking salvation for all who suffered, and he did not the dawning of day. The years passed, the world changed. He did not waver from his task, the divine task of mediation. Thus the wisdom and sacred teachings get, the guiding principle of our daily life. The divine favor was thus renewed, and blessings flowed universally, establishing the way of eternal prosperity, the way of mediation of Wahiawa Konko Daijin. By this wondrous revelation, we are given knowledge of the way, through all our hardships of this world, to pay the body and soul. The way of mediation teaches us to turn our hearts to Kami, without regard for day or night, whether we are near or far. The way of mediation teaches us to pray with total trust. For living unaware of our divine favor, we offer our sincere apologies and pledge to mend our ways. Let us live our faith every day, seeking and rejoicing in your divine favor. Let us care for those in pain and invite them to the way. Let us guide those who are lost and awaken them to life of purpose. Kami is fulfilled in us, we are fulfilled in Kami. May this way of mutual fulfillment be manifested in this world. May Kami's wish for peace and the well-being of all people be fulfilled. So we humbly pray, so we earnestly pray.
Katie, let us all bow our heads in prayer.
Holy mediation message for the monthly memorial service. In the sacred presence of Ikiyami Konko Daijin and Tenchi Kane no Kami, on behalf of the Konko mission of Wahiawa, I, Edna Patsuka, reverently state the following prayer. We have gathered here for the monthly memorial service on this day, April 19, 2020, under the unprecedented circumstance of the prevailing threat of coronavirus pandemic that has not yet slowed down. We have to conduct today's service through Facebook live streaming. With this service, we seek to honor and extend our sincere gratitude for your infinite divine work. As Associate Minister of Konko Mission of Wahiawa, I feel honored to serve this local faith community. With my dad, my mom, my brothers. After succeeding the late Reverend Haruko Takahashi, who founded this church as a branch church of Konko Mission of Honolulu in 1940. We attribute all of our blessings to the presence of this church and the virtuous line of divine mediation. In the acceptance of the Konko faith, we have been receiving divine blessings from the time of our ancestors and to our descendants. Receive blessings while living and even after we pass away. In memory and respect toward our deceased ministers, family members, and friends, we pray that the virtue of Ikigami Konko Daijin and Tenchi Kane no Kami enables the mitama to be fulfilled and at peace. This year, the church marks 80 years of operation. Thank you for any elements of blessings that made it possible for us to be able to perpetuate the operation of this church. It has been possible through the divine guidance and support of all the people who have been connected to this church and the Mitama spirits. We sincerely ask our divine parent, Ikigami Konko Daiji, and the Mitama spirits to continue to support us in pursuit of people's salvation in accordance with the principles of the Konko faith. Please let us help each other and guide people who live life in suffering. Through the virtue of Ikigami Konko Daiji and Tenchi Kane no Kami, let it be known to people that they can attain peace of mind. Konko Daijin related, practice faith, receive divine blessings by practicing faith. Then, not only you, but also your grandchildren, great-grandchildren, and even further generations can receive divine blessings. Even the spirits of your ancestors will be able to rest in peace because you receive divine blessings through your practice of faith. The blessings you have received stay with you forever. Therefore, you should build as large a foundation of blessings as possible during your life. We continue to extend our prayers for places throughout the world that are experiencing hardship due to natural disasters, crime, poverty, famine, corrupt governance, and pollution. I pray that the coronavirus pandemic will end soon as possible and we'll be able to regain our normal lives, which we may have taken for granted. Dear Divine Parent, Tenchi Kane no Kami-sama, please allow us to be of service to you and helping others as our utmost expression of thanks for the blessings we have been able to enjoy. Please grant the blessings of today's service not only to those who are present, but also to those who could not be here with us today.
Lord, as you were. Jido tomoni haye. Let us clap our hands 4 times together.
Tenchi Takitsuke, page 6. Ikigami Konko Daijin Tenchi Kane no Kami Shin ni negae. Ukage wa waga kokoro ni ari. Kongetsu konnichi de kanome. Pray sincerely with all your heart, be one with Kami. Kami's blessings begin within, hearts grateful and caring, in harmony and joy. Look to Kami always, now and forever, on this very day pray. Ikigami Konko Daijin Tenchi Kane no Kami Shin ni negae. Wakage wa waga kokoro ni ari. Kongetsu konnichi de kanome. Pray sincerely with all your heart, be one with Kami. Kami's blessings begin within, hearts grateful and caring, in harmony and joy. Look to Kami always, now and forever, on this very day pray. Adoration Prayer, page 7. We lift our eyes in awe toward heaven soaring above.
We lift our eyes in awe toward heaven soaring above. We bow our heads in prayer toward earth rich and deep, living amidst such gifts of Kami's great giving. How happy and grateful we are. The mediation of the Kami Konko legend does not stop for a single day. The protection of the divine parent embraces all far and wide. The blessings of Kami flow without limit through all generations. And wave of Kami are mysterious and wonders beyond our understanding. Day by day, every day, earnestly and reverently, we praise the virtues of Kami, we honor the power of Kami.
Prayer for the ending of the novel coronavirus pandemic. Please refer to your hand. 木神Konko大臣様、天地神の神様、木神Konko大臣様、天地神の神様。We offer our hearts of appreciation for your love and virtue as we are allowed to live in this very moment. Currently, a pandemic is rapidly spreading throughout the world. The novel coronavirus pandemic is causing much concern and raising anxiety among people and nations. Thus, we offer our hearts and prayers to you for this pandemic to end as soon as possible. Sadly, there are those who have lost their lives because of this virus, and we put our hands together to pray for their spiritual peace and happiness. We also pray for those who are infected by the virus to quickly recover and heal completely, in order that they may continue to contribute to society and the world. We pray for political, economical, and educational reform, so that all the anxiety, distrust, and blame we may have been harboring will dissipate, and we will be blessed with the return of social order. For those suffering in the midst of this pandemic, please allow their hope, faith, and livelihoods be restored. Thus, now more than ever, we commit to renewing our hearts of appreciation, having a heart of Kami, praying for and guiding others. May we all be awakened to your truth, that a faith that helps others helps ourselves. Please help us to help you in this global endeavor to end this pandemic and bring peace to this world. It is our sincere prayer that the people of the world, all your children, will not only have peace of mind, but also live happily, safely, and in good health. 木神Konko大臣様、天地神の神様。新読三次 page 29. Shintoku Sanji. 仰ぎ祭れば天高く仰ぎ祭れば天高く拝み祭れば地は厚し神の恵みに生かされる身の幸いぞありがたき我が生き神の恩取り次ぎと日も隠る時のなく天地の神の恩守りと岸かきの隔てなし寛に尽くしみはよろずよにあまねく道手は決しなく感計らいは美しくて人の思いぞ及ばざる我ら今月今日やび祭りでいたすらに神の御影をたたえますらん神の慰霊を仰ぎますらん。
一度入れ 4 song class. 一度お入り。
Mitama Prayer, page 12. Spirits of those who have gone before us, you are given the gift of life in this vast and endless universe. You discharge your duties faithfully, each according to your span of years. You will be remembered eternally. Your lives will be told from generation to generation, honored as the foundation of our society and the roots of our families. Through the mysterious workings of Kami, you enter the Konko faith. You walk the way of Konko, respecting the will of divine parent. You demonstrate the mercy of your faith to take it to the world beyond and lead to your descendants. Our gratitude is boundless for your loving favors. We revere you as ancestral spirits of our homes, our own divine spirits. We beseech you to stand by us, each and every one. We seek the favor of Kami, and help us to fulfill our tasks as people without failing. Protect us, guide us, and enrich us, that we may never lose the way of faith, that we hand down to all generations, that we may live in peace and prosperity within our home. Protect us, guide us, and enrich us. Okay. Let us all bow our heads in prayer. Monthly Memorial Service Saishi Prayer. Dear Mitama spirits of the founding minister of the Konko Mission of Wahiawa, the late Reverend Haruko Takahashi, the Reverends Matsutaro and Fumio Yasutake of the Konko Church of Amagi, the Reverends Masayuki and Kikue Kodama, Reverend Masahiko Yoshino of Konko Mission of Honolulu, the Reverends Hidejiro and Toshihiko Hosaka of Konko Church of Kawanoishi, and the Mitama spirits, the people who have ever been guided and connected to the Konko Mission of Wahiawa and departed in the month of April. Shinichi Furushima no Mitama no Kami. Yoshiro Kamitono no Mitama no Kami. Robert Mendoza no Mitama no Kami. Gilbert Toshio Iwasa. Kiku Takahashi no Mitama no Kami. Zenji Takahashi no Mitama no Kami. Francis Shigeno Takahashi no Mitama no Kami. Richard Yoji Noguchi no Mitama no Kami. Masaru Shimabukuro no Mitama no Kami. With deepest reverence, we have gathered here today, April 19, 2020, in observance of the monthly memorial service, in a renewed remembrance, honor, appreciation, and praise of those who came before us and became the foundation of our blessed lives. On behalf of the Konko Mission of Wahiawa, I, Edna Masoso, reverently state the following prayer. Dear Mitama spirits, each of us has been born into this world to live through the grace and love of Tenchi Kane no Kami, our divine parent of the universe. From the moment of conception and throughout our lives, we have been enabled to sustain our lives in blessedness of Tenchi Kane no Kami. We will return to the spiritual form upon departing from our existence. Our founder Konko Dajin stated, Those who are living between heaven and earth are the blessed children of Tenchi Kane no Kami. Even after death, we shall also receive the blessings of Tenchi Kane no Kami. Whether we are living or dead, we must remember that heaven and earth will always be our home. As such, Konko Daijin showed us that there is a blessed relationship in life and death. Let us always remember that the blessings of our Divine Parent transcend time, space, and place. Our founder, Konko Daijin, related, "The light that the sun shines upon us is a divine blessing. The rain that falls is a divine blessing as well. All humans are allowed to live in the midst of divine blessings. People are born amid divine blessings, live amid divine blessings, and die amid divine blessings. Dear Mitama spirits, we reverently acknowledge that it is through the virtue of Ikiyama Konko Daijin and Tenchi Kane no Kami, as well as of all the Mitama spirits, that enable us to live and enjoy blessed lives. Through divine arrangement, you have been guided to the Konko faith. Your diligence and sincerity in the teachings of Konko Daijin enabled you to understand and practice the way of Konko Kyo through the divine mediation of Ikiyami Konko Daijin. We forever offer our humble respect and sincere thanks to you as Mitama no Kami. With deepest appreciation, the members of this church have gathered here to remember you in appreciation of your work and contributions in the past and present. Please accept the many offerings placed before you and sincere prayers of us all. We extend our prayers of thanks for your spiritual work as you help, guide, protect, and comfort us in time of need. We extend our deep appreciation and heartfelt gratitude for enabling us to perpetuate the operation of this church for the last 80 years. This could not have been possible if it were not for you. We pray that through your virtue as Mitama no Kami, the Konko faith will be passed on from generation to generation, and the true blessings of the faith will be realized by many. Thank you again for all that you do."
Now, as you were. Ichido tomoni haire. Let us clap our hands 4 times together.
Hosen Sanji, page 36. Yo-yo no Wahiawa,
Warai no kami wa ga kami to kokoro tsukushite tsukimasu na kokoro tsukushite tsukimasu na todoki mi oya no kami dashi umi no kono tame ni ie no hashira wo shizume tate tamai Atsuko no kame ni honorari wari o mamori tasuke tamari Hakuri o no mienu sakai ni mashimase domo mi Tsukushimi no mi kokoro wa uzushi o ni kawarase tamawazu Saki mi tama no masaki kusaki wa e tamari kushi Mitama no kushibi ni
いて心なしは薪の柱の動きなくなりわいは結ぶつなめの緩みなく真心清らに励み努めしめ構えるからやわらぎあいて日に天に浦安く楽しましめたまいついに移し世のことを得て神の御門に参らん時には必ずしも迎え取りたまい見尽くしみをこむらしめたまわんものと神の実りの絶えなるおかしこみかたじけな耳よやの恵みのおぼろげならぬおうれしみ喜び申すことを見心も涼やかにきこしめしたまえと申す花くしびのみよやのみたま花くしびのみよやのみたま花と音のみよやの神花と音のみよやの神
一度入れ。はいげ、recession。
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us today for our monthly memorial service. Hope you can hear me. Yano Sensei didn't join us for our service this morning because he was feeling kind of dizzy. He wasn't feeling very well, so he's resting. So let's pray for him that he'll be okay. And he just suddenly asked me, really like 5 minutes before the service began, that he cannot attend. I mean, he cannot conduct the service, and he asked me to be the chief officiant for today's service, which was a surprise. Wasn't really prepared for this, but my you know, the saishi got kind of jumbled up because there's usually a saishi for sensei, and like some of the service order was kind of mixed up. I was like, "Oh, do I bow now, or do I clap now, or I only focus on my role, so I haven't really paid much attention to what the saishi does." So, but anyway, thank you. I'm glad we're able to hold today's service. Today is a monthly memorial service, and it's very important for us to remember our deceased loved ones, families, and friends. And why it's important? Why it's important? Well, you will only understand when somebody is so dear to you passes away. That's the only way. I mean, I cannot explain it in words. If you haven't had anyone in your life that you were close to who passed away, it's kind of hard to remember them. But if you had, I believe you all had a couple or several people in your life who have really touched your hearts, and you just can't help it, but when they pass away, you are sure that you're going to remember them for the rest of your life. And that's the kind of feeling that's really important to hold. The Mitama spirits, although they may, although people pass away, we believe that their spirit lives on. Their body returns to the earth, or like a copper urn or something. But the spirit lives on, and they were always listening to you. So try not to gossip about that, like people who have passed away. Try to talk good about them. They're listening. And always try to remember them throughout your days. I want to talk about one patient that I had, and who passed away. I work on the cancer unit, so patients, they come for several rounds of chemotherapy, and they go home, come back another round, and several times, and some people, they just don't make it. The chemotherapy doesn't really work for them. And this one particular patient, various therapies were no longer effective, and her health was declining, and she has passed away. With these oncology patients, you develop a relationship with them. And, we're told in nursing school not to get too attached to them. But, they come often for rounds of chemo, and you get to know about their lives, and they talk to you, they talk story, and you really, really grow close to them. And so one of these patients really, really cared about this one particular patient. I will not say the name because of HIPAA, but she passed away at home. And one of these days when I came to work, I was looking at my charting, and one of the doctors approached me, and she said, "Are you Edna? Are you Edna Matsuoka?" I said, yeah, I'm Edna. She's like, "Oh, well, I don't know if you remember this one patient, but she wanted you to come to the funeral. The family wanted you to come to the funeral." And I said, "Oh yeah, I remember her. Yes, I remember her. Really, oh, she was such a sweet girl. I remember her." And she said, "Yes, if you can, it's gonna be this week, like this week Friday, and at this time, at this place, if you can join the family for the funeral, please go." I said, okay, I'm off on that night. Good. So I wrote it down. I jotted in my memo, and then I was determined to go to that funeral. And the day of the funeral came, and the parking lot was full. And this particular mortuary had very few parking spaces, and it was packed. And there was this parking attendant that says, "Ma'am, we're full. You have to either park at this parking lot, like down the street." And I was like, "Okay." I was like, "How far is it?" She said, "Oh yeah, just down the street, this parking lot." So I was like looking, and then it was down the street, but it was like a mile away down the street. So I was like, this is kind of scary for for me to have to walk back to my car after the funeral, later in the night, and then there were no other people walking, and it's like my car was the only car there. And it was like behind this building, in a shady location. I was scared. I was like, no, I don't want to do this. I'm sorry. And I just couldn't. And I just left the parking lot, and I was getting kind of teary-eyed, and I talked to the Mitama-sama of that patient who wanted me to come to the funeral. I said, I'm sorry, I can't go to your funeral tonight. The parking lot's full, and this parking lot that I want to go, that they're guiding me to, it's scary, and I can't. I'm sorry, but I'm going to drop off my condolence card, and I'm gonna leave. I'm sorry, but I'm just going to force my way into that first parking lot, even if the attendant's there. I'm just gonna force myself in. That's my thought, and I'm just gonna tell the attendant, look, I'm not gonna stay. I'm just gonna give my card and leave. Then they'll probably let me in. That was my thinking. So I went back to that original parking lot of that mortuary, and the parking lot attendant wasn't there at the time. So I slid right in, and then I was blocking other cars parked there, but I just parked it temporarily. And then the parking attendant looked at me. I saw her in the corner. She was there. She looked at me. She's like, ma'am, you're not allowed to park here. I said, I know. I'm just going to drop off this card, and then I'm going to leave. But the parking attendant changed her mind. She's like, okay, you know what? Why don't you just stay here? Why don't you park a little bit more closer to these cars over here, so you're not blocking the entrance? And then she said, are you going to leave right after the service, or do you intend to stay for the dinner? And I was like, well, if possible, I want to stay for dinner, but if not, I'll just leave. As long as I can just give this card, I'm happy. And she said, no, you can stay. And just me, she allowed me to stay there and park my car, even if I was blocking. And I was so thankful. And I immediately thanked the Mitama spirit of that patient. And I was like, wow, you really want me to be here, don't you? You really want me to be here. And it's amazing, because she was shooing everybody else away. But she said, I'll let you stay here. I was really thankful. So anyways, I attended the funeral. And when the funeral was over, you know how they acknowledge people? When they acknowledge people, they actually said my name. I couldn't believe it. The family said, thank you very much, Edna Matsuoka, for being her favorite nurse. It just made me cry. I never expected that. And there were no other nurses there. I was the only one. And I guess there was a reason that Mitama-sama really wanted me to be there that evening. And you know how after the funeral is done, we go and meet the family to give our final condolences and messages. I lined up, and I wanted to say thank you to the parents of this individual. And I was like, really, only 5 or 6 people more in front of me, and then I'll meet the parents. Then the parking attendant came to me, and she said, I'm sorry, ma'am, can you move your car? I was like, no, I'm so close, you know. And then she's like, I'm sorry. But you know, I was thankful, because that parking attendant let me park where she was not supposed to let me park. So I was like, okay, I understand. I'll move my car. So I had to get out of that line even if I was this close to meeting the parents, I just moved my car and I thought I just had to go. But then when I thought I had to go, a parking space opened up, a real parking space. And then the parking attendant said, "You can park right there now." And I was like, yes, you're helping me out again. That's amazing, because I really want to say thank you to your parents. So I was able to park my car in an official parking space, and then I went back and lined up to greet the parents. I was able to do that. I was very thankful. And that was a good thing that the parking attendant wanted me to go back and move my car, because that allowed me extra time to talk to the parents. Because by the time I went back, there were almost nobody there. So I was able to talk to them for a little while longer than other people. Other people just got to, hug them and say, "I'm sorry," and then move on. Hug, "I'm so sorry," and move on. I really got to have that extra time with the parents. Because I've gotten to know them too through this patient's treatment at the hospital. And when I hugged that mama, she was bawling. She was just crying so hard, and I couldn't help it. I was crying so hard. And she just said, "Thank you, thank you, thank you." And I was like, "No, thank you, thank you, thank you." And it was an exchanging of thank you, thank you, thank you. That patient did her best. She tried her hardest. And, it was just a really touching moment. And I was thankful when I also turned toward the casket. Her body lay there, and I said, "Thank you. Thank you for allowing me to care for you as your nurse." And I'll never forget her. So I was really appreciative. You can really, from that moment, I really felt Mitama-sama's presence. You can really tell that they're there. I can really tell that she wanted me to be there, because I was almost going to go home that evening without even attending. So, when people pass on, people think they're gone, but they're not. They're here with us, always. And they're always protecting us, guiding us, and thinking about us, and wanting us to be happy. So, for us, we are alive. Our job is to remember them, always. Think about them, and bring back good memories, and pray for their eternal salvation as Mitama no Kami. So I want you to all remember that today. Hold those beloved people who have passed away in your hearts, and remember them. Thank you so much.
Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
Welcome to another Sunday service online.
Monthly
Monthly memorial service. Apologies. So before I begin, I'd like to read the Konko Faith, our creed. So on page 73 of the prayer book, the Konko Faith, our creed. We believe in Tenchi Kane no Kami, the divine parent of the universe. Our founder, Konko Daishin, embraced Kami's revelations, and as divine mediator, answered the call to eternal mediation. Our continuing goal from moment to moment is to realize Kami within each of us. We are fulfilled through Kami. Kami is fulfilled through us. The happiness of everyone is Kami's greatest wish. We give thanks for Kami's blessings, mysterious, wondrous, and mundane. Blessings begin with our own hearts, hearts filled with harmony and joy. We pray wholeheartedly to Kami today and every day, trusting Kami as our loving parent, finding peace of mind. We live our faith in service to Kami, each other, and our world, nurturing and nurtured, mutually fulfilled. We revere those who have gone before us, spirits one with Kami, caring for us eternally. We respect and appreciate other paths taken by humanity towards spiritual fulfillment. So I'm going to focus on near the last two. We live our faith in service to Kami, each other, and our world, nurturing and nurtured, mutually fulfilled. And we revere those who have gone before us, spirits one with Kami, caring for us eternally. And what that last one means is that we honor our ancestors, people who passed away. Just now, Edna Sensei talked about her experiences of a beloved patient. You know, all her, what was that? There was a loving relationship, and all the loving memories of that person who passed away is what's really important, to remember those loving memories we have of those people in our lives. And I remember way back when on Facebook, there was a quote that I seen. It's, life is precious and life is unpredictable. And it's so true. Every time I'm reminded on the news, on the media, on everything, people tell me that life is precious and life is unpredictable. You just never know what's going to happen. It's so interesting how unfair life may be, but that's the way life is sometimes. And it's hard to find the blessing within it sometimes, because it may be such a dear friend or a close family member. Like, why did they have to die so suddenly? Why did they have to pass away? You know, there's a lot of hurt. And that's normal, because that hurt, it's your love that's hurting. To me, that's how I see it. It's that relationship you have with the person. It's that love that's connecting you with the person who's passed away. And that love is what we need to keep holding on to. And that's why we have these monthly memorial services, the spring memorial service, the fall memorial service. All those services are for us to remind ourselves of the love we received from the people who passed away. It's so important. It's one of our backbones of this faith too. That's why we have an altar to our left side. It's the altar to honor our ancestors, honor our loved ones, honor those who passed away. And the reason why I bring up the other teaching, we live our faith in service to Kami, each other, and our world, nurturing and nurtured, mutually fulfilled, is because oftentimes at the funeral, I hear a lot of regrets. I hear a lot of like, oh, I should have treated someone better. I should have cared more. I should have done this. Shoulda, coulda, woulda. But oftentimes it's when we lose something, that's when we realize it, yeah? When we lose something, we realize what we shoulda, coulda, woulda done. And especially nowadays with the numbers going up from the coronavirus, people are passing away suddenly. Like, it's within weeks of getting diagnosed. And it's, again, life is unpredictable and life is precious. So currently we're living together in close quarters with each other. We are in contact with our friends and family and people from abroad. But I always go back to loving kindness again. It's so important. because that's all we're going to remember. At the funeral, all we hear about is the loving kindness we received from that person who passed away. And so doing that now, there won't be any regrets later on in the future. Because again, life is precious and life is unpredictable. So hope everyone who's tuning in today, who came to the service today, can think about how they treat their loved ones, how they speak to their friends and family. It matters. It matters. That little bit of kindness will come back, and it'll in your memories, in the service, in when we pass away, because we don't know when we'll pass away. But it's all about trying to, I guess, focus on that main aspect, especially in this faith, to focus on being appreciative and grateful for having each other. And that's the faith backbone of this faith, is to have gratitude in our lives every single day. And so I hope everyone here today can think about that, can remember the takeaway from all this is to treat each other with a little bit of kindness. Be a little bit more patient. Be a little bit more understanding. Be a little bit more compassionate. Be a little bit more empathetic and understanding. And I think we can all get through this as better people, because it's the best time to practice that at home right now. Thank you very much.
Gorikai reading. Page 9. Okay. Okay, we'll now read Gorikai. Gorikai number 2, page 221, number 32. I don't know if we can read it. We read that last time. So 30, 32? 31? Okay. どうぞ読んで。
Okay, 31.
Sorry.
Conserve water. If
In case.
in case of a drought, there won't even be enough to fill your hand. Waste water, and you will be punished with the lack or overabundance of water.
32?
Okay. 32. In the Kurozumi faith, they partake sacred water. In this faith, from the rice grown by Konjin's land and nourished by the rain from heaven, we partake sacred sake. All kamis are offered sacred sake.
33. Place fertilizer at the roots of a tree, then its branches will grow lush. Respect your ancestors and parents, then you will prosper.
34. If you give requests to Kami-sama for all things, there will be no mistakes. Those who ask Kami-sama and cannot understand the answer should ask their parents.
Thank you. Oh wait, Ronnie's back. Do you want to read Ronnie? 35.
Don't sell things at the highest price. People will say that buying at your store was a loss. Sell at 70 or 80% of the price. Then they will be happy and say that they made a profit.
Thank you. And you take over.
あ、みんなも読んだよ。あ、寝とる。He's feeling busy today.
What?
Busy?
Busy?
Good morning, everyone. ただいまから歌を歌います。We're going to sing a song, 4 songs. So, page, if you have the book, page 57, 新人の栄光。
Feels forever. Walking around is busy.
with a heart caught up in doubt and worry. I face my life every morning, wanting to shine, but somehow holding back joy and fear, stirring in my heart. Still I know, even when as small as I can run into someday and find a shining, shimmering, brilliant light, glowing from a path that never ends. Instead of losing hope or fearing what's ahead, let's keep on moving forward with our heads held high, for we are all living in a world that embraces you and me with its love, supported by the prayers of those who care for us. We are never alone in our lives. When I'm down and ready to surrender, when times are hard and it seems so dark, just knowing each day that I'm never on my own gives me strength and courage to try harder. Holding hands with my friends standing by my side, swinging arms together we will walk to the shining, shimmering, brilliant light, glowing from a path that never ends. Instead of losing hope or fearing what's ahead, let's keep on moving forward with our heads held high, for we are all living in a world that embraces you and me with its love, supported by the prayers of those who care for us. We are never alone in our lives. Instead of losing hope or fearing what's ahead, let's keep on moving forward with our heads held high, for we are all living in a world that embraces you and me with its love, supported by the prayers of those who care for us. We're never alone in our lives.
Wave to the camera.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Next time do our monthly memorial service. You have a good week, and we'll also be doing our okage sharing. So amongst your family and your altar, please talk about the things you have been blessed with that last week, and pray for a good week.